unless he's making a certain amount, or unless he's able to provide for himself and is making money. Well, newsflash, baby, I'm high maintenance because I'm the one that's maintaining it. It's me. So how can I come and live the life that I'm living and I'm enjoying it to come and be suffering with you? Does it make sense? Why would I come from up here to come down here to meet you at your level? Thunder fire every idiot that wants me to do.
Hello, guys. It is Lexus Exodus, leader of the Black Women Exodus. How are you guys doing? Like always, if you enjoy this content, please like and share. Please comment in the comment section. Please chime in the chat. You guys are always lit. Shout out to my exes in the chat. I really appreciate you. Shout out to my moderators who always hold it down. Thank you so much. Also, if you have any tips or suggestions for any stories or any content, please send an email to me at lexusexoduschannel@gmail.com. This is another installment of my daily series called the Blackistan Zoo, where we profile the animals, monsters, and other crazy creatures in Blackistan. Like I always say, I'll do this Monday through Friday at 6:30 ET throughout the month of April. Then at the end of the month, I want to kind of review things, level set, regroup, make sure that the likes and the views and the shares and the engagement aligns with the level of effort for this. Just because it does take a lot of hard work. So if you do enjoy this, please let me know. Speaking of that, I told you guys recently, I just got my first strike. So some Hotep fucking coon ass motherfucker, dumbass naker reported me, and he actually told me in the comment section that he's one of those Hotep fuckers who have one of those black people were kings, we were pharaohs in Egypt types of YouTube pages, and he only has like a few thousand followers, and it pissed me off because he reported my video about the athletic apes, and so it was removed. So if you don't see it, that's why. But my thing is, he's also a Kevin Samuels supporter. He's always trolling in my comments, always, dick riding Kevin Samuels, always coming to the page, invading our spaces, and it's just like, Naker, leave us alone. Leave us the fuck alone. Divested means we do not want to be bothered by you. Why do you keep coming to spaces where you're not wanted? And you wonder why, there's white flight and why motherfuckers cross the street when they see your ass. Don't nobody want to be bothered with y'all. Can't even go to the nice places downtown where I live, because then y'all, the bad chicks is here. Motherfuckers don't want to be bothered. Stay in the hood. Leave us the fuck alone. Stay over there in Manosphere or over on Kitten Samuel's channel and keep dick riding over there. Stop coming over here. But anyways, if you were wondering why that video was removed, it was because it was reported. I would say let's have a flag party, and we need to report his channel to be petty. But honestly, I don't give a fuck about what they doing over there because it doesn't matter to me. We over here living our own divested life, enjoying one another as fellow like-minded Black women that are elevating ourselves and that are making better choices. So I'm not concerned about what he's doing over there, but he keeps coming over here every single day harassing us, and it pisses me the fuck off. So mods, it might be time to really just be like very, very strict with banning people as soon as you hear them say some fuck shit. And I believe in freedom of speech. I don't give a fuck if they come and hate watch, but really this ain't it. This message is too important for me to be silenced. We Black women are in a epidemic. We're in an epidemic. We are dying at an astronomical rate. We are getting fucked up. We're getting maimed. We're getting physically, verbally harmed. I think the latest stat is that Black women die at the hands of Black men every 19 hours, I believe it was. So this message is way too important for me to get out there and for me to save other women, for me to be silenced. So I don't know, mods. It might be time just to block all these nakers who come and try to invade the movement and try to impede the movement and mess the vibe up. But Anywho, so if I ever go on a sudden hiatus, it's probably because of that. I did make a backup channel. It's called LexX. That's LEXEX. So please, when you have a moment, go ahead and head over there and subscribe. That way I can move all of my content over there if something does eventually happen. But anywho, so let's get to what we came here for. So today's episode is going to be about the Pulpit Pimp. And so let me first preface this with saying a disclaimer. This does not apply to all religious leaders. So if you are a trigger mammy, please miss me with that. I know not all. I know some of y'all's preachers are kings. I know that not all of anything can be one thing. That's not possible. Y'all gaslight us when y'all say shit like that. I'm just saying this is just my observation growing up in the church and examining some pulpit pimps, some preachers neutrally in Blackistan. So anyways, their habitat, they are found all throughout Blackistan and Akawakwa and your local churches and ministries throughout the hood. Their appearance, they're typically overweight, very overweight. So they'll have pot belly, beer belly, big bellies, really, really big guys, overweight, obese men. They sweat profusely. And you'll also see them in their traditional native garments, so cheap suits. You might even see them in robes. So their behavior. So pulpit pimps are false prophets. They're wolves in sheep's clothing. So they will teach these biblical principles on Sunday and will tout about all of this religious content and will spew all these Bible verses on Sunday. But then as soon as they walk out the church, they'll be a heathen Monday through Saturday. They are very hypocritical. They oftentimes get caught having affairs, side babies, things like that. They can be liars, cheaters, thieves. They are all very misogynistic, and I don't care, what denomination it is. Very, very misogynistic. Very sexist. They typically encourage Black women to stick it out with struggle love. So they'll tell them to stay loyal to their husbands, even when wives are being cheated on and mistreated, even if they're being publicly humiliated, abused, being embarrassed. They also tend to be very money hungry as well. So you'll often hear them encouraging their congregation, their poor congregation that lives in the hood, to tithe using their rent money or their gas money, using their last dime, saying you need to trust God to make a way. Sometimes it can be very homophobic as well. And I mean, we all know that Christianity, the perspective on homosexuality, what that is. But if they are like very vocal, like fixated on homosexual people and just preach consistently and are adamantly against homosexuality, it's typically because they are homosexual. They're closeted gays and are self-hating and are very ashamed. So they'll try to overcompensate with all these messages, extreme messaging about how, gay people need to go to hell, or what else will they say? Or how you can be healed through spirituality. If they are extremely homophobic, it's typically because they are gay. Some extreme cases with these pulpit pimps, they can also be sleeping with women in church and sometimes even the children. So, quick story and trigger warning, this is heavy. So, I often talk about my ex and how toxic this nigger was, and how, he was just a liar, a cheater. He was abusive, both physically and verbally. He was a hot ass mess. It was like pick a struggle. How you gonna be failing in all those areas? He was broke too. But the reason why, and this is not to make any excuses, but he did have a very tumultuous childhood and he was traumatized by one of these pulpit pimps. So his grandfather, and I think this was by marriage. I don't think they were biologically related. I'm pretty sure it was his grandmother's husband. His grandfather was a pastor. And when my ex was really, really young, when he was a little boy, the man used to sodomize my ex, and used to molest him, and used to tell him that if he said anything and if he told anyone that he would go to hell. A little kid. And I know that's heavy, and I know that's a lot, but these pulpit pimps can oftentimes really, really be very heinous and very nefarious. We've also seen stories where, they've gotten caught and busted for participating in sex trafficking rings involving children and children in the church. So these men can be very nefarious and can be very dangerous. And it's because they are, educated lames, and they come off as these harmless, good people, these good guys. So, Black women being very spiritual, very religious, and typically being indoctrinated into, Christianity since birth, we will let our guards down and we'll allow them to be around our children, and we'll just trust them because, we think that they are religious, good men. So they can be very dangerous. In those extreme cases, they can be even pedophiles. So notable pulpit pimps, Creflo Dollar, who's asking for, millions of dollars to buy a damn jet, even though his church and his congregation lives in the hood and are poor. We also think about John Gray, the pastor who continuously gets caught cheating on his wife and messaging other women and having affairs with other women and publicly humiliating her. So now that we've gone through the profile, let's look at these creatures in their natural habitat. So I came across this recent IG recently called Preachers and Sneakers, which is an Instagram that shares pictures of pastors in very lavish, extravagant purchases that they've purchased with the church's money. So let's look at a few of these instances so you can kind of see these creatures in their natural habitat. You can see how exorbitant and how lavish their lifestyles are, even though typically they're ministering to people who are broke, who are living check to check, who are suffering in impoverishment. So let's see what we have here. Okay, so this is Bishop T.D. Jakes. This is him wearing a fanny pack, a Christian Louis Vuitton fanny pack that costs $1,250. And I actually do enjoy some of Bishop T.D. Jakes' messages, especially when I was back in Blackistan. I really did enjoy it. But this is very. I understand that, being a minister, being a pastor is a job. However, how obnoxious is it to wear something that costs the same amount as a lot of these people's rent on your waist? You know what I mean? Like, let's just use common sense. Let's just let's be a little bit more considerate and a little bit more mindful about the group that you're ministering to. These people are supporting this lifestyle. These people are the reason why, you're able to have these mansions and these private jets. It really is a slap in the face for you to wear a purse, a merce that costs more than their rent, their monthly rent. This next photo is of another pastor in a Fendi hoodie. So this hoodie costs $1,290. And I don't know about y'all. I talk to my husband about this a lot, because I'm just not a very superficial person. And so when it comes time for like birthday gifts and anniversary gifts, he's like, man, I wish you really like jewelry. I wish you like designer purses, or there was something expensive that I could get you, because it's hard. It's really difficult for me to find you gifts every holiday. And I told him, now that we are where we're at and, our household income collectively, we're in the top 5% income brackets in the country. I still don't ever think, even as we grow and as we keep progressing and as we continue to make more money and his business just continues to be successful and I'm doing well in my career, I still don't ever think I could ever carry a bag or one piece of garment that costs that much money. You know what I mean? For me, I'm thinking, damn, this is somebody's mortgage. But yeah, here's this, this lavish lifestyle, this ostentatious lifestyle is the norm for these pulpit pimps, who are supported by their poor congregation. Here's Pastor John Gray, the cheater, the notorious cheater who gets caught cheating every quarter, wearing a Givenchy hoodie. That is $1,145. And he really pisses me off. Because child, we know it's only a matter of time before somebody else come out. I remember, him talking about, and we'll talk more about John Gray later, but I remember one with Tasha K exposing him and releasing a video of him talking to his mistress while his child was in the backseat complaining about his wife and her cooking. So yeah, this fool really, really is the epitome of a pulpit pimp. So let's look at this next story, this new story about a Detroit pastor who asked each member for $1,000 in the midst of the pandemic, and a fight breaks out. Yikes.
Have a lot more to do than just politics. New Era Detroit, they call it church accountability. Taking congregations to task for not serving the community in their estimation as those churches should. They say something doesn't add up when a pastor makes a lot of money, drives a luxury car, and yet the people who live near his church are in poverty. A scuffle inside the sanctuary after New Era Detroit protests during a worship service. Let's go. Zeke, the leader of the group, offered no apologies for the dust-up at Great Big Ministry Saturday, only the reasoning behind it.
This situation is bigger than just Wayne T. Jackson. This is about black churches and black pastors who live a lavish life on behalf of the people, and they're not giving back to their community.
He's referring to Bishop Wayne T. Jackson, the wealthy pastor that welcomed Donald Trump, drives a Rolls Royce, and lives in a mansion. Zeke was there for the offering Saturday.
When they started the offering at $1,000, and then they said if you don't got $1,000, then do 300. And if you don't got cash, then we got ATM machines. I don't understand that logic. I don't understand that way of thinking, and I don't understand that to be what religion is.
New Era Detroit says the neighborhood surrounding Great Faith Ministries is by and large impoverished.
This guy has network churches, fancy cars, you know what I mean, $1 million houses, and there's babies in this community that's going without food at night. Somebody has to be frustrated about this enough to do something that will get people's attention, and that's what New Era.
Boy, that is crazy. So here you have it. This pastor who's in the midst of Blackistan, he's in the hood. His church is like right there, located in the midst of the projects. Detroit, Michigan ain't no joke. And like he said, this man asked for $1,000 from all these people, each member that are living below poverty level. Meanwhile, he's driving a damn Rolls Royce and lives in the suburbs in his mansion. And he asking these poor people, just like your typical pulpit pimp, asking these poor people for $1,000 in the midst of a pandemic, even though most people had to downsize. A lot of people lost their jobs. We know that, Blackistan, most of the people who are employed, they work in the service industry. And so they were impacted by restaurants closing and bars closing and different stores like retail closing. So, these people are suffering. That's why they're getting so excited about a $1,400 stimmy. And this man had the nerve to fix his mouth and ask each member for $1,000 in the hood of Detroit. So I'm not surprised that a fight broke out. I remember being very, very young, and I remember at our church, our old church, they hosted like a bake sale or something, or maybe sold dinners and raised some money. And I remember our pastor stealing our money and running off. Took the money and left a note, apologizing. But yeah, this is typical behavior of the pulpit pimp, very money hungry, anything. Church is a business. I think some people forget, although churches do, they promote certain spirituality and certain values and integrity, biblically, living a certain lifestyle and being right and having good principles, we do have to understand that this is a business. And sometimes, especially if they're led by pulpit pimps, they're going to say whatever, do whatever to get whatever amount of money they need, not only just to keep the doors open, but to also sustain their lavish lifestyles. So here's another clip of a pulpit pimp warning women and lecturing them about how if they don't keep up with their physical appearance, they are turning men gay. So let's watch this. I hope this one works.
You a single woman? You talking about all the men being feminine? You not gonna convert them with your belly like that. Get your tail ready for me. I don't care. Get ready for marriage. If you was their last option, no wonder they going to men. Align yourself. Get your makeup together. Take your grandmama's hair off. You ain't ready for marriage. No, I understand.
Okay. And then this guy gives commentary on it. So here's this blonde-haired Tyrone who looks very flamboyant, talking about how the way the women look in the church, they are turning men gay. So this guy looks like he's gay. I wouldn't be surprised if he is homosexual with that little blonde highlight. But yeah, these men, these pulpit pimps, these Tyrones who preach this anti-gay rhetoric, most likely they're gay. He's talking about, your belly ain't going to convert nobody. I'm sorry, y'all. And I am a slimmer woman, and I have a 28-inch waist, and I keep fit at the gym. But I have friends with bellies, and I'm going to tell y'all right now, and I think most straight women know, a belly is not going to scare any heterosexual male. It isn't. He will move that belly to the side. He will still have intercourse with these women, regardless of what their weight are. And having a six-pack ain't going to turn a gay male straight. It just ain't. Okay. Now let's go to John Gray. So we talked about how, there's also this rhetoric that is typically preached by pulpit pimps, where they'll talk about how, women just have to be loyal to their husbands and have to demonstrate this undying dedication and loyalty to them, even when being mistreated. I know, please ignore Derek Jackson. I couldn't find the clip on its own. So please ignore Derek Jackson. He actually did a response to this clip because it was really problematic, even though we know that he's a cheater as well. But I want you guys to listen to this pulpit pimp discussing how his wife had to birth him and had to coddle this grown man and teach him how to be a grown man, even though he's a grown fucking man. So let's see.
Is better than the man that I am. I married a woman 2 sizes too big. I have to grow into having her. She's a coat. I still can't fit her. She's bigger than me. And she's had to cover me while I grow up. I gotta grow into her. But she's a covering, not a lid. Ooh. Because if a man marries a lid, she'll stop your dream. But if you marry a covering, she'll push you to your destiny. Now, I'm about to shout and tear this whole thing up. I'm just telling you. Let me tell you something. My wife has endured more pain birthing me than both of our children. She has sacrificed these last 8 years uncovering the painful areas of my manhood and covering the areas that could have exposed me. She deserves anything I can give her. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. I'm going to live the rest of my life to honor her because she gave me what I couldn't give myself, which is a chance to heal while still seeing the God in me. Now,
okay, so we don't want to listen to this, Naker, because this is the pot calling the kettle black. We know that they are both problematic Nakers because there is no such thing as a good Tyrone. So we'll pause there. But yeah, did y'all hear this toxic bullshit? This shit pisses me off because this rhetoric is really what keeps Black women in bondage. He's talking about my wife had to birth me and, she experienced more pain raising me than our children and birthing me than our children. This grown ass 300 fucking pound big ass fucking man talking about how his wife had to raise him. And this stuff makes me so mad. And this is why escaping Blackistan is so important. Because even in the church, where you're surrounded by these so-called educated lames and these good guys that they always like to talk about are out there and these unicorns, this is the bullshit that Black women are indoctrinated into. And so what he means by that is that, these men can have illegitimate children. We know he cheats all the damn time. There's always stories coming out about how he done bought her a Bentley because he got caught red-handed having an affair. So, these men can have illegitimate children, can be fucking everybody in the congregation, and their wives are supposed to sit there every Sunday with a smile on their face like nothing happened. This man has humiliated his wife over and over again. And like I briefly talked about previously, Tasha K leaked a video of him on FaceTime with one of his mistresses while his son is in the car talking about how his wife don't cook for him. And it looked like he could miss a few meals. I'm sorry. You don't need no more food. Cook for your damn self. Okay. So let's look at another story that really highlights the Pulpit Pimp's behavior and his mannish demeanor. This is a little bit older. This is with the Pimp talking about women and how he is physically attracted to them at a damn funeral.
Y'all got some sexy women in y'all family. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Y'all got some sexy women. If I was just a little bit younger, brother, I'd come up here bold. What? Ain't none of y'all ugly in here. All y'all got some beautiful bodies on y'all.
What is happening right now? What is happening?
I might be old, but I ain't blind. The whole lot of young fellas sitting inside y'all looking too.
What? Oh my God. Oh my God.
You fellas that sang, if I live in D.C., you fellas that sang, there's something wrong with y'all. You see all? Whoa.
What?
See that? Look at that. You see all these beautiful young ladies over there? Y'all just sitting down, ain't doing nothing about it.
Oh my God.
So enough of that. Did y'all see his old, thirsty, perverted ass? And I remember initially watching that video, and I kept just thinking, like, how upset and angry would it be for you to be grieving the death of a family member, for you to be in shambles and tears and crying, and that could possibly be, one of the saddest days of their life. And then this perverted naker, comes in instead of doing a eulogy and instead of talking like he got some sense, is being perverted and skeevy in front of the whole damn church. Y'all. The other clip that I wanted to include here is a clip from Pastor Manning. And so if you follow me, I'm sure you know who Miss Archduchess is. She's a wonderful divester, content creator who is very, very dope and makes great content and has like call-in shows and lives where, she just kills it. Well, yesterday she did a live, a watch party where she compiled a bunch of clips of Pastor Manning, who surprisingly is one of the preachers who keep it real and who was spot on. So I wanted to share this with you guys because I thought that this was incredible, and I thought that he hit the nail on the head about the problematic nature of Tyrones.
Who's out there spreading all these lies on Pastor Manning? People out there lying through their keyboards. They are lying online on Pastor Manning. So I'm against biracial marriages. I never said that. I'm not against biracial couples. I'm not against biracial marriages. In fact, listen, I want to say to all the sisters out there, all these black women, single mothers, you don't have a man, you tired of dating black men, taking you to McDonald's, and then asking you to put out I mean, you tired of that? Go find yourself a white man. There are plenty of white men out there. These white women are throwing these men out the trunk of the car, out the seat of the car, out the door of the car. White women got it made. They're the queen of the universe, looks like to me, the way they're treating. They got all these men after them. Black women, go for the white man. Go for him. Go for the white man. Go find yourself a Yugoslavian. Go find yourself a Jew. Go find yourself an Italian. I don't care. And they're bringing them in. I'll perform the marriage. I'm not against biracial marriage. Y'all stop lying on me out there. But the truth of the matter is that I'd like to see some of these black women get a good man. Besides, it's hard out there now for the black woman. 1.2 million black men in prison. It's tough out there. So stop these lies on Pastor Mannings. I never said that black folk and white folk shouldn't get married. I said that Barack's father was an in-heat African. He's a black man. This man had been raised up in the jungles of Kenya, and he had just got off the plane, and he was in the University of Hawaii, and Barack's mama, as a white woman, white girl, started smiling at him. He hadn't seen more than 10 white people in his entire life, and all of them were on television. And he went a-whoring after that woman. But that don't mean I'm against biracial marriages. I never said that. So stop these lies on Pastor Mannings. I never said that black folk and white folk shouldn't get married. I think a whole lot of black folk and black folk shouldn't get married. I'll say that. I know some no good unemployed black men that ought not be marrying black women. You can marry who you want. You can marry Chinese if you want. I don't care. Don't matter to me. Ask me, I'll perform the ceremony. I will not perform same-sex marriages. Now, you can go out there and tell Dick, Jane, Harry, and everybody else I'm against same-sex marriages. So if you want to find yourself a nice white brother, go ahead, and Pastor Manning will say yay and amen. And if I find anybody talking about you because you married somebody white, by the time I finish with them, they'll wish they had never been.
I hope y'all enjoyed that as much as I did. It is really, really refreshing because, we don't get it often. The community, Blackistan, likes to coddle and make excuses for niggers. They don't like to, call them out or make them be accountable or culpable or make them be men. So that was really refreshing to hear Pastor Manning talk about and really call a thing and call out the problematic nature of Tyrone's, and then also encourage black women to save themselves like I do and to prioritize your self-care and your happiness before the community. Anywho, so in summation, I know that black women tend to be very, very religious. And I am not knocking that. I believe in God as well. I don't care if you believe in God, the universe, or, the ancestors, or whatever it is that you want to believe. Have at it. I don't want anyone thinking that I'm pushing my beliefs on them because I don't want anyone to push their beliefs on me. What I will say, though, is as you progress in your spirituality and with your religion, be careful about who you follow. Because we know that Tyrones aren't good leaders. They will statistically abandon their families, and they can't provide. They don't have any resources. And if they're unable to successfully collectively function and be the head of their own households, why would you trust them to lead you spiritually in an entire church? It's just the blind leading the blind at that point, and that's why a lot of these women get misled because they've been taught since birth and indoctrinated that it's biblical to get cheated on and humiliated and embarrassed and beat and to still submit and to still be loyal even when you're the breadwinner and even when your man ain't bringing shit to the table. I just think that there's way too much toxicity and dysfunction that is taught and that black women are indoctrinated with that is done under the guise of Christianity at the hands of these men. So be leery of the pulpit pimp. All right. Until next time. See you guys. Bye.
steppers, if y'all come across a red iPhone, can you please bring it to the sound stage? Red iPhone, we appreciate it.